Welcome to Zoe Stories. A week in heels, makeup, and dresses. The first time I ever put on a dress, I was 6 years old. It was my cousin's frilly pink princess costume, left in the corner of my aunt's living room after a birthday party. No one was paying attention, so I slipped it over my head, giggling at the way the skirt flared out when I twirled. My aunt saw me before I could take it off. She laughed and said I made a cute little princess. My father, on the other hand, didn't find it amusing. He ripped the dress off me so quickly that I nearly lost my balance. That was my first lesson. Boys weren't supposed to wear dresses. I'd buried that part of myself for years. But secrets have a way of clawing their way back to the surface, no matter how deep you try to bury them. Now, at 24, I have a steady job, a beautiful girlfriend, and a life that, to anyone looking in from the outside, seems perfectly normal. But beneath the surface, I've been living with a secret that could destroy everything. My name is Ryan, and for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to experience life on the other side of the mirror. By day, I work in IT for a mid-sized tech company, handling network security and troubleshooting software issues. It's the kind of job where no one cares what you look like as long as you know how to fix their problems. My coworkers barely notice if I wear the same hoodie 3 days in a row, and my boss only speaks to me when something is broken. It's safe, predictable, but at night, when I'm alone, I step into a different world. In the back of my closet, hidden beneath a pile of old jackets, is a locked box. Inside it is everything I need to become someone else. Dresses, skirts, lingerie, a pair of nude high heels that I taught myself to walk in after watching hours of tutorials. There's also a small collection of makeup, foundation, mascara, lipstick, a modest arsenal that took me years to build. Most nights, when Emma is working late or visiting her parents, I take everything out, lay it carefully on my bed, and transform. I don't do it just to feel pretty, though I won't lie. I love the way a dress hugs my body, the way a pair of tights feels against my legs. But it's more than that. When I look in the mirror, dressed in something soft and feminine, I feel something I can't quite explain. A sense of belonging. A feeling that I'm seeing the real me, even if only for a little while. But it's a fragile illusion, one that shatters the moment I hear Emma's key in the door. Emma and I have been together for 3 years. She's everything I could have ever wanted: smart, kind, beautiful. She works as a nurse, and she has this way of making everyone feel safe, like nothing in the world could hurt them as long as she's around. We met in college, and from the moment I saw her, I was hooked. She had this effortless confidence, this warmth that drew people to her. And for some reason, she chose me, the quiet, awkward tech guy who spent more time in front of a computer than talking to real people. I love her. And that's why I can never tell her the truth. Emma is open-minded. She supports LGBTQ+ rights. She's always standing up for people who don't fit into society's neat little boxes. But that doesn't mean she'd accept me like this. She sees me as her boyfriend. Her man. Strong. Masculine. The person she curls up next to when she's had a hard shift at work. How would she feel if she knew that, the moment she left for work, I was slipping into silk and lace? I tell myself it's just a harmless secret, that it's better this way. But deep down, I know secrets like this don't stay buried forever. We live in a small apartment just outside the city, a cozy place with secondhand furniture and walls covered in photos from our vacations. It's nothing fancy, but it's ours. The bedroom is our sanctuary. A queen-sized bed dominates the space, flanked by mismatched nightstands. A floor-length mirror stands in the corner, and I avoid looking into it when Emma is home. I don't want to see the reflection of the man she thinks I am. In the living room, a large window overlooks the street below. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I stand there wearing one of my dresses, watching the world go by. It's risky, but there's something thrilling about it, knowing that anyone could look up and see me. Most of my crossdressing happens in secret, behind locked doors. But lately, I've been feeling restless. Like I want more. Like the box in my closet isn't enough anymore. One night, over dinner, Emma drops a bombshell. My parents want me to come home for a week, she says, stirring her pasta absent-mindedly. My mom's been feeling lonely since Dad started traveling more for work. I was thinking I could go spend some time with her. I freeze, fork halfway to my mouth.
A week.
A whole week alone. Oh, I say carefully. That sounds nice. She looks at me, a small crease forming between her brows. You wouldn't mind? I know we haven't spent that much time apart lately. I force a smile. Of course not. You should go. Inside, my mind is racing. A week. 7 days with no one to catch me. 7 days where I can live however I want, dress however I want. For the first time in my life, I'll have the freedom to be her, the girl in the mirror who only exists in stolen moments. Emma reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. You're the best, you know that? I swallow the lump in my throat and squeeze back. If only she knew the truth. The moment Emma's car disappears around the corner, I stand frozen at the living room window, barely daring to breathe.
She's gone.
Really gone. For the next 7 days, I have complete freedom. No risk of her coming home early. No need to stuff my dresses back into their hiding place at a moment's notice. No guilt about keeping secrets from the woman I love. And yet, I don't move. I should be excited. This is what I've always wanted. Time to fully embrace the part of myself I've kept hidden for so long. But instead of running straight to my closet, I hesitate. What if this isn't a good idea? What if I enjoy it too much? What if, after this week, I can't go back to being just Ryan anymore? The thought unsettles me. I've always told myself that my crossdressing is just a private indulgence, something I do to relieve stress, to feel beautiful in a way the world never lets me. But deep down, I know it's more than that. It's never been just about the clothes. I take a deep breath, steadying myself. It's fine. This is just a chance to let off some steam, to fully embrace my other side for a few days. That's all. When Emma comes back, things will go back to normal. With that thought, I turn away from the window and head straight for my bedroom. Time to become her. My hands shake as I pull out the locked box from the back of my closet. I don't know why I'm nervous. I've done this before, hundreds of times. But never like this. Never with the knowledge that, for the next week, I don't have to hide. I place everything on the bed, laying out each piece with care. A black lace bra, matching panties, sheer thigh-high stockings. A burgundy dress that clings in all the right places. My favorite wig, a sleek, shoulder-length brunette style that softens my features. The sight of it all sends a thrill through me. I strip down, my skin prickling as the cool air touches my bare chest. Then, piece by piece, I begin my transformation. The bra is first. I fasten it around my chest, stuffing the cups with silicone inserts that give me just the right amount of curve. Then the panties, smooth and snug, a reminder of the feminine form I long for, but don't have. The stockings slide at my legs, silky and delicate. I shiver as I smooth them into place, the sensation electrifying. Next, the dress. The moment I slip it over my head, something inside me shifts. I'm no longer just Ryan. I'm her. My reflection in the mirror confirms it, except my face still betrays me. Masculine angles, stubble shadowing my jaw. Time for makeup. I sit at my small vanity, my heart pounding as I uncap my foundation. Each stroke of the brush brings me closer to the person I long to be. Foundation first, blending away imperfections. Concealer under my eyes, brightening my face. A soft sweep of blush on my cheeks, bringing them to life. Then my eyes, dark liner, smudged just right. A coat of mascara that makes my lashes long and fluttery. A deep red lipstick, bold and sultry. Finally, the wig. As soon as I secure it, my transformation is complete. I stare at myself in the mirror, unable to look away. I look beautiful. For the first time, I don't just see Ryan wearing a dress. I see someone else entirely. Someone real. A shaky breath escapes me. I've always loved these moments. The rush, the thrill, but this feels different. It feels right. I stand, my heart hammering as I take a few tentative steps in my heels. The familiar weight of them grounds me, reminding me of the countless nights I've spent practicing in secret. But tonight, I don't have to stop. Tonight, I can live as her. A slow smile spreads across my lips. This week is going to change everything. By the time I finally step out of the bedroom, my nerves are settled. I move through the apartment with a newfound confidence, the sound of my heels clicking against the hardwood floor sending shivers down my spine. I pour myself a glass of wine, sinking onto the couch, relishing the freedom of simply existing like this. But the peace doesn't last long. A noise. I freeze, my heart leaping into my throat. The jingle of keys. The unmistakable sound of a door handle rattling. Emma? No, impossible. She just left. I bolt upright, my entire body going rigid. The front door doesn't open. The sound stops. Silence. For a long moment, I don't move. I barely breathe. Then, cautiously, I tiptoe toward the peephole, my pulse hammering in my ears. No one's there. I exhale shakily, pressing a hand to my chest. Jesus. I let out a nervous laugh, shaking my head at myself. I'm too on edge. Paranoia is getting the better of me. Still, the fear lingers. What if someone does stop by unexpectedly? What if Emma forgets something and comes back? The thought sends a fresh wave of anxiety through me. I need to be careful. I can't get caught. But as I glance at my reflection in the hallway mirror, at the stunning woman staring back at me, I know one thing for certain. I'm not going to stop. Not now. Not when I finally have the chance to be who I've always wanted to be. And that's when I make a decision that will change everything. I'm not just going to stay inside this week. I'm going out. The decision to go outside wasn't one I made lightly. I spent an entire hour pacing back and forth, debating the risks, imagining every possible worst-case scenario. But the idea had taken root in my mind, and no matter how hard I tried to push it away, I couldn't ignore it. I wanted this. Not just the secrecy of dressing in my apartment, but the full experience, the rush of stepping into the world as her. And so, after another careful round of makeup touch-ups and a final nervous glance in the mirror, I found myself standing at my front door, fingers gripping the handle, heart pounding in my chest. Was this crazy? Absolutely. Was I going to do it anyway?
Yes.
Taking a deep breath, I stepped outside. The night air hit me first, cool and crisp against my skin, making me shiver despite the warmth of my burgundy dress. My heels clicked softly against the pavement as I locked the door behind me. I was really doing this. I was outside. For a moment, I was too overwhelmed to move. The quiet hum of the neighborhood felt amplified, every distant car engine or rustling tree suddenly deafening in my ears. No one was around. No one was watching. And yet, I felt completely exposed. With a shaky breath, I forced myself forward. One step. Then another. With each step, the fear didn't vanish, but something else began to creep in alongside it. Exhilaration. A thrill like nothing I'd ever felt before. I wasn't just hiding in my apartment, sneaking glances at myself in the mirror. I was living it, and it felt amazing. I walked down the sidewalk, my pace slow but steady, my heart hammering as I passed houses and dimly lit porches. My heels felt steady beneath me, my dress swayed with each step, my makeup flawless under the streetlights. For the first time, I wasn't just Ryan in women's clothes. I was her.
But the moment didn't last.
Because just as I started to feel comfortable, a voice cut through the quiet.
Hey.
Ryan? My entire body locked up.
No. No. No.
That was impossible. I spun around so fast, my heel nearly twisted beneath me, my breath catching in my throat. And there, standing at the end of my driveway, was Emma's best friend, Mia. I felt every drop of blood drain from my face. She wasn't supposed to be here. No one was supposed to be here. Mia took a step closer, squinting in my direction. Oh my God, she breathed. Is that you?
Run.
That was my first instinct. Turn around, sprint inside, lock the door, pretend this never happened. But my body wouldn't move. I stood frozen, staring at her, completely paralyzed. Mia's eyes widened, realization flooding her face. Holy shit. It is you. Panic clawed at my chest. My throat closed up.
Say something.
Do something. But what? There was no excuse for this. No way to explain why I was standing outside, dressed like this, wearing heels, a wig, a dress, full makeup, everything. Mia took another step forward. Ryan, what the hell is going on? I swallowed hard, forcing air into my lungs. My mind raced for an explanation, any explanation, but nothing came. Then, miraculously, words spilled from my lips. It's not what it looks like. Mia blinked. Not what it, Ryan. You're dressed like a... She cut herself off, her gaze dragging down my body, taking in every detail. I felt naked, exposed. I forced a laugh, awkward, shaky. It's just a joke.
A bet.
Stupid thing with some friends. Mia's expression didn't change. She didn't believe me. I could see it in her eyes. Silence stretched between us. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, one step away from total disaster. If Mia told Emma, if she told anyone, everything would come crashing down. My life. My relationship. My secret. I had to get out of this. Mia, please. My voice cracked. You can't tell anyone. She stared at me, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, she tilted her head. Does Emma know? I felt my stomach plummet. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Mia exhaled, rubbing her temples. Oh my God. She doesn't, does she? I stayed silent. That was answer enough. And then Mia did something that made my blood run cold. She pulled out her phone. Mia, don't. My voice was sharp, desperate. She hesitated. I saw the conflict on her face, saw the gears turning in her head. Then she looked at me again, really looked at me, and for the first time, her expression softened. Ryan, is this really just a joke? The question hit harder than I expected. I opened my mouth, ready to insist yes, to keep lying, to salvage what little I could. But I couldn't. I couldn't say it. Mia's eyes searched mine. And in that moment I knew she knew. She knew the truth. Mia didn't say anything for a long time. The silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. Then finally she sighed. I won't tell Emma. Relief hit me so hard I nearly collapsed. Oh my God. Thank you. I swear I'll explain. No, Mia interrupted. You won't. I froze. Her gaze sharpened, her expression unreadable. You're not ready. I swallowed hard. Mia. Ryan. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. You need to figure out what you want before this blows up in your face. Her words sent a sharp pang through my chest. Because she was right. I'd spent so long avoiding the truth, pretending this was just a thing I did in secret. But it wasn't. It had never been. And the longer I kept lying to myself, to Emma, the worse it would get. Mia studied me for another moment, then sighed. Go inside. Take a good, long look at yourself. I didn't move. Do it, she insisted. And ask yourself if you're really just playing dress up. Then, without another word, she turned and walked away. I stood there for what felt like forever, my body trembling, my mind spinning. Then, slowly, I stepped back inside. The moment I shut the door, I stumbled to the mirror. And when I saw my reflection, saw the woman staring back at me, beautiful, real, something inside me cracked. A week in heels, makeup, and dresses. That was all it was supposed to be.
But now?
Now I wasn't sure if I could ever go back. I stood in front of the mirror, hands gripping the edge of the dresser as I stared at my reflection. The woman looking back at me wasn't a stranger. She wasn't a mistake. She wasn't just a product of a stupid bet, a joke, or a temporary escape. She was me. I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the past week press down on me. Everything I had buried, every excuse I had made, every time I had convinced myself this was just a phase, it all crumbled in an instant. Mia was right. I had to figure this out before it blew up in my face. And yet, as I turned away from the mirror, as I prepared to undo everything, to take off the dress, wipe away the makeup, strip away the layers of her, I couldn't move. Because deep down, I didn't want to. Not anymore. Then I heard it. The front door unlocking. My heart stopped.
No. No, no, no. Emma.
I had lost track of time. She wasn't supposed to be home yet, she wasn't. But she was. The door creaked open, and I barely had time to react before her voice cut through the silence. Ryan? I'm home. Panic slammed into me. I couldn't let her see me like this.
Not now.
Not yet. I turned so fast that my heel wobbled beneath me, nearly sending me crashing to the floor. My hands scrambled to rip off the wig, to wipe the lipstick from my lips, to pull off the dress. Too late. Footsteps. She was coming down the hallway. I had seconds. Seconds. Think, Ryan, think. I lunged for the closet. If I could just... Too late. The bedroom door swung open. And there she was. Emma froze in the doorway, keys still in her hand, her eyes locking onto me. For a single, deafening second, neither of us moved. Neither of us breathed. I felt the air shift between us. And then, slowly, Emma's expression changed. Confusion. Then realization. Then something else. Something I couldn't place. I opened my mouth to explain, to lie, to beg, to do anything. But the words never came. Because Emma had already taken a step forward. And the look on her face told me everything. She knew. I felt like I was falling. The room around me blurred. My own heartbeat roared in my ears. I should have said something. I should have moved, reacted, done something. But all I could do was stand there, my hands clutching the fabric of my dress, my lips still stained with the deep red of my lipstick. Emma took another step closer. Ryan, she said, her voice quiet, careful. I flinched. It was worse than if she had screamed. If she had yelled at me, I could have handled it. But this? The careful way she said my name, like she was afraid of breaking something, or breaking me, was unbearable. I opened my mouth to explain, to blurt out anything, but she beat me to it. How long? The question knocked the breath from my lungs. I blinked.
What?
Emma's gaze didn't waver. How long have you been doing this? I felt like I was suffocating. I couldn't answer. Because the truth, the real, terrifying, undeniable truth, was that I didn't know. It had always been there, lurking beneath the surface. It wasn't just a week. It wasn't just a bet. It was me.
And now?
Now, there was no turning back. Emma took another step forward, closing the space between us. She reached out, slowly, carefully. And then, asterisk, before I could stop her. Asterisk, she brushed a strand of my wig back, her fingers ghosting over my cheek. The gentleness of it made my breath hitch. For a second, just 1 second, I thought maybe. Then she pulled away. And I saw it. The emotion flickering in her eyes. Not just confusion. Not just shock. But something deeper. Something dangerous. Something I wasn't ready to face. I took a shaky breath, my entire body trembling. And then Emma whispered 3 words that changed everything. We need to talk. What happens next? Does Emma accept Ryan's secret? Or does this shatter their relationship? What will Ryan do now that the truth is out? And most importantly, is this really the end of Ryan's secret life? Or the beginning of something much bigger? Drop your theories in the comments below. What would you do if you were in Ryan's shoes? Would you fight to keep the secret, or finally embrace the truth?
Let's talk about it.